It's me again, Adrian Ward. How you going? Another interesting aspect, I think, of all the objects that I'm making in the silver bullion is that you're really talking about a time that I had a vision of about 10 years, maybe 15 years ago, where I saw that I was making objects that in a world with objects of no value. Now, I had no idea what that was about, and since then I think I've come to realise, and I think we all have come to realise that what the centralization of manufacturing to China has created is a reality where objects in this world that we live in are running on the credibility of what they previously were. Now, with the new generation, that's not going to mean anything, so it's totally natural for them to see that all objects are somehow a facade when you've got China manufacturing everything that it looks like something else. It is what it is at this point in time, and they are facades because they are part of the manufacturing of what's considered in the last 20 years as being 20% of everything that human beings have manufactured in the entire civilization of humankind. And we're creating monstrous amounts of things which are basically worthless, and the value of objects is put into a completely different light at this point in time. So in a sense, the objects that I'm making, regardless of whether they're wonderful art pieces or whether they are significant to anything else, they exist as objects of a value that can never be undermined, because they can never be manufactured in China. Because how can you trust China to supply bullion when the sole point of why China has become what it is today is through replication and copying? So they don't have the credibility to, and also there was a couple of gold-plated lead bars that didn't help the situation when it came to Chinese bullion. So regardless, the objects I'm making at this point in time are the only objects of actual value, because they are inherently a commodity. I'm value adding to that commodity, hopefully, and I think that they exist as real objects, and because they have a certain worth that is that can never be eroded, because there's only a certain amount of silver, they will always be precious, and the silver will always last. Or gold, as the new pieces that I'm making have a gold aspect, such as the oyster. So I think it's an interesting time for objects of value. What are objects of value? I think it's an important conversation in this world, and I think technology is an object of value, but objects of value are completely unknown at the moment, and I'm hoping that the silver bullion and the gold bullion and what I'm doing creates something that will last the passage of time and the rise and fall of civilizations, which is exactly what silver does, and whether it can stay in the form of my sculptures or not is another thing.